Is your magic meter running low? Well, we've got a cure for you. Welcome to Disney Coast to Coast.
Hey folks, and welcome to Disney Coast to Coast, the ultimate unofficial Disney fan podcast. I'm Jeff DePauli, and on today's mini episode, I'm continuing a tradition of talking about our favorites from Disney last year in 2019, and what we're looking most forward to this year in 2020. 2019 was a huge year of growth for the company. Typically, during a D23 Expo year, I would choose that as my favorite memory of the year. Although I had a ton of fun at this expo, I think my favorite of 2019 would have to be the launch of Disney Plus, the Disney streaming service. This was a huge project with a great launch, and I look forward to its many years of content. Most specifically, I think the Imagineering story is probably my favorite offering on the service so far. It's a fantastic behind-the-scenes look at the parks that I love so much. For 2020, I'm looking most forward to the changes coming to Epcot. I'm not sure whether or not I'll love them all, but I am fascinated to see what happens with this park. We've had some great announcements already, but I think there will be even more to learn about the transformation later this year. Now that you've heard my thoughts, listen to the choices some of my fantastic Season 6 guest co-hosts made as their favorites.
Hello, this is Mike Celestino from laughingplace.com, and I want to thank Jeff for having me on the Disney Coast to Coast podcast a couple times this year to discuss some Disney Halloween fun. But my favorite media coming out of Disney this year was probably The Mandalorian, which is the live-action Star Wars TV series on Disney Plus. If you haven't heard of it, it really feels like probably the best content to come out of Lucasfilm since Disney bought the company back in 2012, even though I have enjoyed most of the stuff that they've put out since then as well. This just feels like a step above and beyond, and it really has that classic kind of old school Star Wars feel. Really appreciate the work that creator Jon Favreau and the writers and directors and cast have put into that show. And what I'm looking forward to most next year in 2020 is getting to ride Star Wars Rise of the Resistance at Disneyland, which is already opened down in Walt Disney World, but I have not had a chance to get down there to ride it, and it's coming here to Southern California. It'll be open in Anaheim in mid-January, so super excited about that. Sorry, both of my entries were Star Wars related, but I'm a Star Wars guy. So Jeff, I hope to see you soon, and Happy New Year.
Hey, it's Jeremy from the Mad Chatters podcast. Congratulations on another successful year of Disney Coast to Coast. What a great year 2019 has been for the Walt Disney Company and here at Walt Disney World, especially with the opening of Galaxy's Edge and Rise of the Resistance. 2020 is going to be even better, at least in my opinion, with the opening of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway and the Space Restaurant coming to Epcot, as well as Ratatouille. Lots of big changes happening at Epcot, so I'm looking forward to the year to come, and I'm wishing you nothing but success in 2020.
Hello everyone, this is Preston. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Preston@Disney. My favorite thing from the Walt Disney Company in 2019 was Disney Plus. I think they got some great originals on there that I'm really enjoying, like The Mandalorian, The Imagineering Story, and High School Musical, the musical, the series. Having accessibility to also the old classics is such a great thing to have. We are really lucky to be able to have that. Also, having everything from Disney under one roof is great because you got Marvel films that were released this year, and then you also have classic Disney films released in the 50s. What I'm looking forward to in 2020 from the Walt Disney Company is Avengers Campus here at Disney California Adventure. I'm hoping that the Spider-Man attraction is innovative and also fun, and I'm also really intrigued about the Doctor Strange experience / show that they have announced. Thank you again, Jeff, for having me on the show. I'm looking forward to more Disney Coast to Coast in 2020.
Hey everyone, this is Banks from Attractions Magazine. So yeah, 2019 was such a full year in terms of things coming out from the Walt Disney Company. But for me personally, the thing that I am really taking away the most, my favorite thing, is very recent, the opening of Star Wars Rise of the Resistance at Disney's Hollywood Studios. So when I was on an episode with Jeff earlier this year, we talked about the history of studios, MGM, and Residential Street. So it's appropriate that my favorite thing from this year kind of is a attraction that's on the former land of what we were talking about on the podcast earlier this year. This ride is just so phenomenal. It blew me away, and I've been on it twice now. And even the second time, I feel like I enjoyed it even more because, like, this really is the most immersive experience that Disney has ever created for its theme parks. It has cemented itself in my top spot for favorite attraction of all time. It used to be Tower of Terror, and now it is Rise of the Resistance. So my top two are now at my favorite park, Disney's Hollywood Studios. It just really is, from the moment you start in that queue and you get to that first pre-show when you exit the ride, it's an experience. It's not just a ride. It is an experience. Like they've been saying, 15, 20 minutes, you are immersed in your own Star Wars story. And as a lifelong Star Wars fan, I couldn't have asked for anything more. And just from the sets to the effects, Disney hit a home run, and it is definitely my favorite thing they've done in 2019. So looking ahead to 2020, I am looking forward to a lot of things, especially in theme parks. Lots of good movies are coming out in 2020. TV shows, Disney Plus, all the Marvel shows coming to Disney Plus. But for me, it's two things that stick in my mind for 2020. One is the Ventures campus over in Disney California Adventure. It's amazing that we're finally getting a dedicated Marvel Land stateside here. We're going to have a Spider-Man ride, and then in the future, the Avengers e-ticket. But personally, it's going to be Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway as my most anticipated for 2020. This ride is first Mickey Mouse attraction in the history of Disney, so that's exciting. As much as I love and miss the Great Movie Ride, I really think this could be a big hit for Disney's Hollywood Studios and for Disneyland when it opens in a few years. And I've heard some great things about the animation and how they blend live action with the animated world and bring these Mickey shorts to life. So this will finally complete Disney's Hollywood Studios transformation. So I'm very much looking forward to that in 2020. I can't wait to start.
Hi Jeff, it's Alice from Al's Tea-Barn. I firstly want to say a huge thank you for another amazing season, and I can't wait to see what 2020 brings Disney Coast to Coast. So much has happened in 2019, it's hard to pick. I loved all of D23's announcements, Galaxy's Edge opened, and amazing films like Frozen 2 and Toy Story 4, which made me laugh out loud. But I think what I loved most from the Walt Disney Company in 2019 was Avengers Endgame. I just thought it was the perfect ending to the MCU as we knew it. As for 2020, there's almost too much to choose from, but I have to say the thing I'm most excited about Disney Plus launching over here in the UK. I can't wait to watch the shows that I've heard everyone talk about so much and finally see Baby Yoda in action.
This is Derek from the Mad Chatters podcast. If you had asked me this question a week ago, I actually think my answer would have been different. But this week I had the opportunity to ride Star Wars Rise of the Resistance at Disney's Hollywood Studios, and I do have to admit, it was my absolute favorite thing the company gave us this year. Now, I'm of the opinion that the less you know about an attraction before you ride it, then the more memorable and special the attraction will be when you do get a chance to ride it. So I'm actually not going to give any details right now. But I will say that as a fan of theme parks and a fan of innovation, and yes, a fan of Star Wars, I loved this attraction so much. It really impressed me. I was smiling from ear to ear the entire time. I was still processing it hours after I got off of it. And honestly, I really cannot wait to ride it again. So I'm so excited for people to experience Rise of the Resistance. As far as 2020 goes, my answer for what I'm most excited about is actually the same answer as it was last year. This year, we thought Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway was opening at studios. Wow. I'm just realizing both of my answers are Disney's Hollywood Studios, which if you had asked me 2 years ago, I would never have guessed that that would be the case. But anyway, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is now officially opening in 2020, not 2019. And I still am very excited about this attraction. I'm excited about a brand new song that we're getting. I'm excited about finally having a ride that is themed all around the OG Mickey Mouse. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to use techniques and innovations that we really haven't seen in an attraction, let alone a Disney attraction. So yeah, I'm really excited for Mickey and Minnie. Really excited to ride Rise of the Resistance yet again, and really excited for a lot of things that are going to be coming from the Walt Disney Company in the future.
This is Jim Denny, and I'm the author of Walt's Disneyland and co-author with Pat Williams of Lead Like Walt, which was released earlier this year. And what I enjoyed most from Disney in 2019 was Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which I visited at Disneyland in California. It's the most fully immersive, all-encompassing land ever created for Disneyland or for any other theme park. And for me, the illusion of being enveloped by a Star Wars movie was just really amazing. You know consciously that you're really at Disneyland, but the architecture and the petrified trees and the space vehicles and everything that surrounds you is so perfect that your unconscious mind believes it's all real. And the centerpiece of Galaxy's Edge is Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. It's the simulator, and it's like walking through a movie screen. I first saw Star Wars in 1977, and I've watched these scenes countless times, and seen Han Solo and Luke and Obi-Wan and there in that room, Princess Leia and so forth. And suddenly I was there. I was right there in the movie. And some people that I've talked to sort of worry that Galaxy's Edge might turn Disneyland into Lucasland. But I really believe that Walt Disney would approve of Galaxy's Edge because he knew that the future is always a moving target. And he wanted Disneyland to never stop aiming for the future. He wanted Disneyland to educate and inspire young people, and he was all about the next generation. He wanted young people to believe that the future is bright and that anything is possible. One of my favorite Walt Disney quotes is when he said, "To the youngsters of today, I say, believe in the future. The world is getting better. There still is plenty of opportunity." And I think Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is all about that future, the better world, the opportunity that lies before us. And George Lucas was a big Disney fan. A lot of people don't know that when he was 11 years old, he was right there at Disneyland the day Disneyland opened to the public. His favorite land was Tomorrowland, and his favorite ride was the Tomorrowland Autopia. So there's a natural affinity, a natural connection between George Lucas and Disneyland that goes back to Disneyland's opening day in 1955. What I'm looking forward to in 2020 from Disney is Rise of the Resistance, the new Galaxy's Edge attraction that opens at Disneyland in California in January. One thing I noticed when I was in Galaxy's Edge is that there is room for expansion in that place, and I really hope that we're going to see more Star Wars-themed attractions coming in the future.
Hey, this is Kyle Burbank from LaughingPlace.com, and as I thought about what my favorite thing to come out of the Walt Disney Company was this year, I was a bit surprised to realize that it's not actually parks-related. Instead, I think I have to give the crown to Avengers Endgame. My wife and I have both enjoyed the MCU since it started, but our fandom really ramped up in Phase 3, and Endgame was just such an impressive, emotional, and satisfying payoff. As for 2020, I'm really excited for the Beauty and the Beast Dark Ride coming to Tokyo Disneyland. Granted, I have no idea when I'll be able to experience it for myself, but I love that it will exist. With that, Jeff, congratulations on another great season, and I look forward to Season 7. I'll be sure to mark February 5th on my lovely DCTC calendar. Oh wait, it's actually already there.
Thanks for that perfect segue, Kyle. Folks, we are now in 2020, and if you haven't ordered your Disney Coast to Coast calendar yet, time is truly running out. Head over to DisneyCoastToCoast.com and order yours today so that I can make the upcoming 7th season of DCTC bigger and better than ever. I'll be back with another mini episode of DCTC next Wednesday, and don't forget that the Season 7 premiere will take place on Wednesday, February 5th. Other than that, folks, have a magical day. Bye!
Thanks for listening to Disney Coast to Coast. Have a magical day.
Disney Coast to Coast is produced and hosted by Jeff DePauli. Learn more about the podcast and become a supporter at DisneyCoastToCoast.com.